Hey folks, so Saturday, we're gonna get ready to, well, first of all, sorry for not posting for the past couple days. I had other commitments to mess with, and then I've been prepping. So let me show you what I've been doing. So I went ahead and prepped the rear end. I pulled it out, and I got a couple more pieces left up front to pull with the front brakes and all. So I'll pull all that stuff off probably tomorrow for Father's Day. But yeah, I got the rear end prepped, cleaned, and all the brackets that I needed cut off. But yeah, so that all went pretty good. And then I was just waiting on the powder coater. So the powder coater stuff showed up Friday, and we're pretty much I think about half a day behind from where I wanted to be. But yeah, I think we're in good shape for today. So just follow along. All right, folks, here we go. So here's the rear end out of the truck. We got some powder coated stuff back. There's the rear girdle. So now we're gonna go ahead and take the rear diff cover off and then drain the fluid, obviously, because that's got 140,000 miles. And then basically you sandwich, and Factory 5 provides new bolts for right here, but you basically place the girdle off on the back, and then glue or put sealant around, or gasket around the girdle, and then on the diff cover, and then squeeze it all together, and it becomes one unit. And then everything gets bolted to that, and then these guys get, I believe they get bolted around the same places. I'll have to look, but I think they get bolted about in the same place as the old spring perches. Right, but I guess I'll just have to look at some pictures, and it basically it can only go one way, because those U-bolts end up right in that hole right there. So we'll work through that, and we'll give you an update here as I'm taking it apart and draining it. So stand by. All right, so the diff cover is off, sitting over there. Cleaned everything off. There is no gasket, it's just that gray RTV. It was kind of hard to get off, which is good. So we'll replace that, and getting ready to put that piece on there. And I had to obviously remove this to make room, and hopefully there's enough room there to get everything in. Looks like I need to push all of that forward, not rearward. So yep, we'll start gluing it in, and post an update here in a couple minutes. All right, well, I got it set on there. I decided to take most of the lines off to make it easier to slide in there. I've got it temporarily secured with the RTV or silicone gasket, liquid gasket in there. Just letting it set up just a bit. I didn't want it to shift around, and what I'm going to probably do is at least put the shackles on the side to kind of help it, so that everything's not moving all at once, and then that'll give this some time to tack up, and then I'll go ahead and put some more silicone gasket maker on this side, and then put the diff cover on. These are the original bolts. Factory 5 gives you longer bolts. They're just not here yet, so I'm just gonna put it together, get it all glued and everything with these shorter bolts, and then before we do anything else, suspension wise, as far as letting it down on the way to the truck, I'll get some proper length bolts, and then yeah, we'll be in good shape. So far so good. That one, it's really heavy. It just went slow again, and I just kind of lifted it in place and not too bad. It's basically a one-person lift. Be easier with two, but it's possible with one. So we'll keep on going. Okay, so it's all glued in, and I realized I can't put the U-bolts in until I drill the leaf spring perches to accept the new bolts. So I just used, the 12 bolts to locate it, and I'll get all this secured back down as soon as I'm done. So I'll rotate it and start drilling the spring perches. Stand by. And all done. I don't know if you can see all that, but there's the brace all in. Got to clean up the cabling and everything on the back, make it nice and neat. I'll get after that tomorrow. There's the brackets, all the lower control arms. There's the truck arms, and then on this side, centering arms. I'll go right there. Looks good though. Definitely looks beefy. Alright, now I just gotta throw it up underneath the truck and get the upper control arms connected. So that should be next. Oh, and then I've got to cut one bracket off on each end. This one right here has to get cut. It's not needed. So I'll cut that off on both sides. Call that done. Alright, stay tuned. We'll keep it going. Alright, well, I got the rear end kind of semi placed in there. Gonna push it over some more, but you get the idea. Right, there's the panhard bar mount. So it definitely needs to go towards the driver's side some more, but yeah, we're making progress. It's getting suspension. Yeah, I did mount, I don't know if you can tell in there, but I got the bracket for the fuel pump module. It's up mounted. And I've got everything pretty much loose because I'm not really sure where the final state of the brake lines are going to go. But yeah, it's going in. So let's see. So then I got, excuse the mess, I got the powder coated lower control arms, and the uppers are in the garage. So I'll go ahead and start putting those together and get those attached, and then we'll do another update. Stand by. Alright, well, I got the rear end in. Man, this thing's heavy. Every piece of it's heavy. Watch out, it'll pinch your fingers. I did make a mistake. I don't know if you can see that, but I've got a breather that goes right here on the axle that was there when I cut this bracket off. I cut that tube off by accident, so I went ahead and tapped it, and quarter MPT, and we'll put a -3 AN on it and get a breather on it. But other than that, it's in, the 4 links in. The panhard bar looks like might be off a little bit. See how that lines up. Get the pinion angles off, so I'll have to play around with all this. But anyway, it's not even at ride height, so I need to get it up in the air a little bit more, and yeah, and then start taking care of all these lines. I gotta wait for the panhard bar, and I'll make sure I'm not breaking everything, or basically putting stuff where brake lines need to go or where panhard bar needs to go. Don't want it pinched. Anyway, yep, so sway bar next, I think, and shocks. Missing springs, but I want to get the shocks up there to see what they look like. So still progressing. And that's a wrap. Man, that was a long day. Everything's freaking heavy on this thing. Probably smashed my finger more times than I can count, but let me just turn it around and show you what happened. So I got the front sway bar mounted, missing the lower control arms and such. So, but at least that's all in. You know, a few less pieces, boxes anyway. I did clean, so finally starting to see the floor again. These are really the two main boxes I have left, which means most of the stuff is on the truck or is on the back order list. So tomorrow what I'll probably do is I'll finish attacking the motor, finish up the timing chain. Let me show you what I did back here. The truck has the wheels, tires, and suspension on it. Pretty happy about that. Let me back up some more. This is lower than the actual spec calls for. I'm at 8 inches ground clearance. It's supposed to be at 11, but I'm going for the lowered street truck look. So I kind of digging the little red poking out. Again, it's going to be the lead foot gray. The back spacing on these wheels worked really well. The tires and everything fill the wheel well up about how I want it to. About equidistant all the way around, even. And then the back space, you know, looks good. I still have to put the panhard bar in, but it's pretty good. And I've just got the fender really just taped up there so I could take a look at the ride height and, you know, basic placement. Let me show you how it looks underneath. Okay, so this is how it turned out. Went pretty much right in. I've got to make a couple more spacers for the front upper control arms. Those Johnny joints over there. I've got to make 4 spacers. I had to make a couple spacers right there, but no big deal. All in all, that looks good, I think. I like the red again, just kind of poking out. I've still got to clean up all the wiring and everything. I'm just trying to make sure that nothing is in the way, and I'm happy with the placement. So tomorrow's task will be pretty much spent under here with a fan, just reconnecting everything, making sure everything is happy, and then I've got to touch up, you know, the axle and everything where everything touched and whatnot. But yep, it went in about like you would expect. I'm still waiting on the longer bolts for the diff. I ordered some, but I'm not sure they're the right ones, so I guess we'll see. All in all, I'm, you know, moving back is pretty much done. I got the panhard bar waiting on, and then the mounts for the sway bar. So those should, I think some of that stuff is supposed to be here while I'm at the Cobra show in Ohio. So it'll be Christmas again when I get back. Anyway, thought that was kind of neat. I haven't put the shocks in yet because I'm still waiting on the springs. So it's basically just sitting on the jack stands at ride height. Oh yeah, and then I'm not sure you can tell. Not sure about the pinion angle. I've got to figure that out. I'm running the truck lower, and when I lowered my F-150, I had to make sure and add like a 6-degree spacer wedge on my leaf springs. I'm running 4 inches lower than stock. So, but the good news is everything is adjustable. So I'll just hang on to that. Even at this ride height, I've got plenty of clearance. I may come up just a little bit, but everything looks pretty good. I'm happy all the way around. All right, so let me flip this around. Okay, so that's about it. Tomorrow, happy Father's Day to all those fathers out there. And I guess I'll be spending my Father's Day in the garage. We'll be doing a bunch of odds and ends, like I said. I think I've got a plan, a loose one. I need to think about it a little bit more tonight. But yeah, I'm trying to get the rest of these boxes, get the parts out of them. I'd like to get some more of the body panels on, but I really need to get the the engine set, finished. The transmission, I think, is going to be here probably a week from Monday. So the following week we'll have the big transmission, engine, transfer case. That'll all go in all at once. So we'll do a video on that, and then I can start running all my fuel lines and everything. Anyway, stay tuned, and thanks for checking in. It looks like we're, I think, right around 400, just about cracking 400. If we can get to 500 subscribers, very cool. If not, that's very cool. Thanks for the group that keeps checking in. If you got any comments or likes, you know what to do. Would be happy to hear from anybody out there. If you got any questions about the truck or what I'm doing with it, yeah, just drop me a line. I'm pretty much on it off and on throughout the day. Peace out.